Breathe you in like oxygen. Oh, and in otherwise suffocate.
What's up guys, Eternal here, and today's video is going to be a bit different as I wasn't recording when playing, so I still want to make a video out of this game because it was so good and it can be actually a nice example on how to play Sylas. So I guess you don't mind this fact. I have done Sylas guide in the past, but few things changed about this champion, about his abilities and something about his build slightly. So the reason why I want to go crafting potion is because there's great synergy with secondary inspiration runes. So this allows you to have much better sustain on the lane, and that way you can play much more aggressively, and this will lead you to an advantage. So you always want to start with E, and your passive works like this. After casting an ability, your next basic attack is empowered and it deals damage to surrounding targets, so this can be nice for wave clearing. So after casting a spell, Sylas stores a charge, up to 3 charges at once, so you can cast like E, second E and W, and with 3 basic attacks in a real short amount of time. You can still trade, but usually I'm not holding 3 charges, and as you can see I'm really aggressive, so trying something every time. And Sylas can stack his Conqueror pretty fast, so always aim for that and pay attention to your stacks, like I did. I was just auto-attacking Akali every time she was going for the last hit or something, and that way I was gathering Conqueror stacks. Also keep in mind that your E collides with minions, so you have to pass through them. I mean the second E of course, cause your E works like this. On the first cast you dash anywhere you want within the range of this ability, and on recast Sylas throws out his chain in a direction, pulling himself to the first enemy hit, dealing magic damage and knocking them up for 0.35 seconds. And while going back to the lane I'm pressing E to save some time. So you want to go E and usually W second. I like W second because it's easy to trigger, it's really fast and offers some nice amount of damage. So your W is a dash as well, so when your enemy is getting away you actually have the chance to still catch up with the W dash, and also W is the easiest way to gain some Conqueror stacks. So you can also do the second E to minions and close the range, then trade. And as Sylas it's important to just roam and follow your jungler, like here. First I'm dashing and then I'm trying to expect the direction of my enemy, like the direction in which my enemy will try to escape. And he actually survived, which was really unfortunate. And here I tried to predict. Actually the Fog of War should be only on my side, so sorry for that. For a better experience from my point of view. And even if I missed something, it's still good to continue the trade, because I have my passive stacks, I have Conqueror. So you want to constantly trade, use every opportunity to just smash your enemy like I did. It was really risky because I knew that I'm going in the turret range, but also I knew that I can do that simply because I've got used to Sylas damage. And you want to max W first. If you used the W against a champion, Sylas heals for a nice amount based on your ability power and based on missing health. So you need to press your W below 40% HP, that way you can heal for much better amount and this can make a huge difference between outplaying your enemies or not. So thanks to your W, Sylas is really good right now. Of course, this can be countered by healing reduction items, but it's still great. And it depends on the champions. But generally keep in mind, unless you are not going for the target that you can kill within the second, like when going 1v3, save your W until you fall below 40% HP, and that will happen really often because Sylas is usually getting heavily focused due to his killing nature. And sometimes you can plan your trades, you don't have to make an all-in, you can be creative with your E. And like here, as you can see, I waited with my cooldowns a bit while my enemies were still around and didn't expect the damage. I then finished off Volibear, so great. And still, knowing that I have Grappling Potion, that I can stack Conquer, I'm still fighting and try to re-engage, which would kill her, probably. There will be some CDR with Luden's Echo and Protobelt, also an Hourglass, so 40% CDR build, which is really beneficial for Sylas, because you will have your W every few seconds, and also your other abilities. And as for your Q, as you could see now, Sylas lashes his chains out in an X-shaped area, intersecting at his target location, dealing magic damage to and slowing enemies by 15% for 1.5 seconds. It's rather hard to hit with the magical energy that explodes from the intersection point, because the range is pretty small, like the ratios of this ability. Not talking about the chains, but what happens after 0.6 seconds. So this is just an addition to your combo, not the main part of it. You can use it to last hit in tough matchups where you are having a harder time in last hitting. And here I stole Akali's ultimate, immediately engaged, and what can you do? I had to flash, yeah. So on ultimate, Sylas is able to steal ultimates of enemies. It doesn't matter if your enemy has level 5 or below level 5, if you hit your level 6 first, then you are still able to steal the ultimate of the champion. And after using the ulti cast on some champion, you won't be able to steal the same ultimate for some amount of time, and you will see the circle around that target showing you how much time elapsed yet and how longer do you have to wait until you'll be able to cast your ultimate on the same target again. So your typical combo, like you can use EQ and second E at once, like still dragging yourself to that target, but usually this would be good to just do EEW basic attacks and then with Q, then use ultimate and buy Volibear. Pretty nice ultimate to steal for Sylas. Some overstay, we don't want to continue fighting. Aatrox just returned from his base, so yeah. And I especially think that you should be focusing on impacting the game and just getting some kills over CS, because it takes actually a lot for Sylas to clear the whole wave. And also there are mana limits, so that's why I'm playing so aggressively as Sylas, trying to roam as well whenever I can somewhere. Of course trying to do that when the wave got pushed on the mid lane, so that way I would not lose the turret, because it's important. But like, now I have the blue buff, but you can see that I have to use my abilities like this to clear. And keep in mind that you should be using your passive and basic attacking with the passive when there are many minions around, so you can be efficient and deal the damage from each passive stack at the same time whenever you can, just like this. So I like Sylas so much because there's huge outplay potential, and generally I like assassins. So Sylas is really creative, like Volibear didn't expect such thing. Now I stole his ultimate and look at the damage. So great outplay. Generally I like getting fed like this, like enemy jungler is coming just to outpush, and when I'm fed I can just surprise with the combo. Also I'm abusing the passive on the turret, as you can see. So do you remember about these 3 charges of your basic attacks? So that's how it works. Even if there's no target, you just press Q and D next to the turret to deal that additional damage. And generally the enhanced passive basic attacks are much faster, so they go instantly. And as you can see, even if you get crowd controlled, if you manage to connect to your target with E, you will still pull yourself. So that's great. Keep in mind to use your E to avoid enemy abilities, just like I did. And let's see what happens now. That looks hard. So yeah, I went back. I tried to re-engage, but I basically missed. And now I'm trying to re-engage. Stole her ultimate, though it's now point and click on the first cast, so I'm not able to freely dash. But I'm still counting on the fact that something might happen, and actually she avoided that. Is she going to engage? She's kind of scared. And what now? Should I back? There's Morgana's Q, avoid it with E, and that should be it. And okay, I've got some gold to spend. The build for Sylas every game is pretty stable. You build Hextech Protobolt first, followed into Mercury Shreds most of the times, but I prioritize getting Lost Chapter before Boots, because this item is the best item for any mage. Like, huge mana, sustain, good amount of ability power, some CDR, and upon leveling up you restore your maximum mana, so really worth it. And yeah, using ulti, because I was able to reach her with the point and click ability. What now? I had to flash, yeah. No, based on her amount of HP and knowing Sylas, I can still make something happen, so I will E, yeah, going a bit back, let's get focused too much, and let's see. Flashed away, Kayn got away, so okay, but I have noticed Volibear here, and surprise. Huge burst, as you can see. Now there's Aatrox joining. There's Akali to follow him up, so rather harder. Now only Aatrox left. Really intense game, something is happening constantly, so as you can see, that's why I wanted to show you. I think it's pretty interesting, too bad that I didn't record in the real time, but I guess it's still worth it. So now Rift, of course, using my passive, doing everything in order to just kill this herald as fast as possible. So I guess that you have learned by now. You just have to remember about basic attacking in between your combos. Each ability grants you a empowered basic attack, and that's it. Here the Protobot active wasn't that effective, but usually, especially on ranged minions, it's really worth to just cast your active to wave clear pretty fast. And here I just wanted to destroy the turret. I knew that I have some time and Herald did his job and bye. Now trying to help. And let's go at Aatrox. Failed to dash. Got his ultimate, that's it. Because I saw enemies following up, as you can see on the map from my perspective, so they were on vision. And that's why I didn't engage harder. And here I'm just aware that there's no point in trying to defend this turret, because they had advantage in numbers. Now my Mercury threads are complete and they offer tenacity. Also in runes I have additional tenacity, so it really makes Sylas much better, because every CC will be less effective on me and I'll be able to do much more in the team fights. Instant engage. The E range isn't that amazing, but of course if it was longer it would be too broken, so I think it's pretty fine. There's a huge problem because bot lane is kind of struggling now. They are not helping us on the top lane and there are like 3 enemies, or actually 4. And this is crazy because Akali was able to kill my allies on the bot lane alone, but at least they couldn't push the top harder. So they didn't close the game and we still have the chance. But as you can see, because of Volibear, they have 2 Drakes and it's kind of harder to contest. Now I'm trying to be around first, out pushing. Even Riven is following up, but they have started already, right? I mean, it just spawned, okay. So, as you can see, Lux is really fat on this bot lane, so I want to focus her so much, of course. Sylas is great at deleting the squishies, and that was a good OT triple A, so kind of a comeback for us. Here it was surprising that Riven actually took my Quadra, but doesn't matter. The important thing is that we have won this crucial teamfight, and with this slight comeback we still have the chance. Actually, Akali tried to steal. That was greedy of her, but I flashed, knowing that I can probably reach her. And as you can see, I used my Protobot in a really creative way, knowing that I don't have the range for my second E to connect. I just did Protobot and that way I was able. Also Riven took the red buff. Well, actually she was doing this red buff for quite some time, so she deserved that. And yeah, I'm going back or not. Actually here I'm using Morgana's ultimate and look how effective it is. Actually they have great ultis to steal, but I prioritize Volibear's ultimate. I think it's huge. I'm trying to get away. So see, I healed a bit. Keep in mind about your W, so try to Take some time, the W again survived through trying, but it's hard. And W once more, and my first death here. Too many enemies, weren't able to do anything. But let's see how it goes here. Of course they were able to kill my ally. And yeah, at least the first death happened when my enemies are not really able to make a huge advantage out of it, because all that they can do is to push mid. It's too early for Baron and there's no Drake. So we have one Drake and that's Inferno, so pretty good because Sylas is all around ability power, so grants additional damage. And trying to impact again, used Protobelt to reach them. Huge healing of Aatrox, but got him. And I'm still trying something, like being aware of Lux Q, which is too fat, so I have to keep that in mind. As Sylas, you don't want to be the front line, you just want to let the teamfight start and then engage. That was a nice outplay on Morgana, I think, and bye. You see, the Q was affecting me for much shorter amount of time thanks to tenacity, and it really makes a difference. For such type the CS is pretty low, but of course I'm farming champions, and as Sylas you have to choose either farm or do something on the map and pick up kills, so having 17 kills already I think is pretty worth, and CS is not the most important thing to carry, because you just want to make sure that you can impact as much as you can, so that's what I'm doing. Constantly trying to impact, roaming or something. Now Akali got her by. They still have the advantage in gold due to the fact that my bot lane is 0 and 12. So OT of Lux, but it seems that I shouldn't be casting that ult. Like, there are much better OTs for the outcome of the teamfights here, so if I used Lux ulti now, wasn't that good and I died. So my second death, but still. So I'm farming now, and my team is doing the Drake, but it's pretty suspicious that you are not able to see any enemy now, except for Akali. That means that they traded Baron for the Dragon, and actually, yeah, they have taken Baron, and that's huge. That was a really good play from them. And right now the only thing I can do is to take something on the other part of the map. And now I can see that they are grouping mid instantly, so instead of going back they already want to impact, which isn't a bad decision. And of course I knew that it's not worth pushing more because I have to impact this team fight. They have Baron buff, so it's even harder, and as you can see they are taking the turret. So I stole Volibear's ulti, and yeah, I flashed Morgana's Q. I knew that I shouldn't be focused for too long, and that's huge, nice combo. So you see, as I said before, you don't have to be the front line, or not for the most part. Managed to avoid Lux Q and another comeback. It's huge that we are able to kill them when they have Baron buff, and their teamfights are pretty strong as well. So usually in that situation we would do the Baron, but it's gone since enemies took that. In that case I can only push now. So yeah, this looks like a game of Drakes, and it's not clear who will win yet. the game is pretty interesting, I think. So going back now. Morello is another item that is pretty core on Sylas, additional magic pen and healing reduction. Actually, since I wasn't dying, I thought that I can get myself Magi. So usually I don't recommend that, but here I'm having a really good game, so knowing that I won't be dying easily, I think it's worth. So another random team fight. Stole Morgana's ulti and trying to engage. I was just to engage and I was able to reach Morgana with E anyway. So getting back because I have noticed that my allies are not backing me up. Casted W again to heal. And yeah, now they're kind of split. I'm trying to control the situation. And there's Lux now, and look, tried to focus Lux but wasn't able to. And now I know that my enemies are paying attention, so it's not worth it, and I thought that I can just push mid and that way force them to either back or to lose the turret and maybe an additional one with the inhibitor. So here, as you can see, they stopped pressuring my laners. I have managed to take the turret and now I'm fighting them, and actually I think it would be better for me to just go like here and try to make an escape, but probably maybe I thought that my enemies are trying to reach me from the other side, so it looked like I have the only chance to fight them and possibly outplay, but probably should have just tried to escape, but it's okay. Like here now, they have lost the wave and enemies kind of overextended, so my allies can do fine now. And at least when I'm dying, it's not that impacting for them. It's really important not to die when there's a key objective around, like Baron or Drake. But here it was pretty fine. And yeah, I have Lux ultimate. Notice the fact that when I had Lux ultimate, I died the second time. Like third time now, but second time with Lux ulti. And I tried to actually snipe. I have managed to hit the enemy, but wasn't enough to kill. Now Akali overextended, so just finishing her off. She have made a slight comeback, so focusing her was really worth it. There's Morgana around. Aatrox engaging. And this can be another huge team fight, so I use my hourglass. Not being focused, so that's nice. I'm waiting for my moment. And this moment didn't happen. I stole Volibear's ultimate again. And let's see. Yeah, found an opening towards Lux and used this fact. There's the next Drake, so let's see. I have the ult of Volibear. And yeah, I pressed W but I got ignited. And this really lowered my potential to heal. So it looks like my death was still worth it, because my allies have made such comeback that they are able to fight and do well even if I die. So third Inferno it is. Great. But still enemies have gold lead. Baron spawned. Volibear isn't alive yet, so no worries, they are not doing Baron. Got huge stats now. It's not a shame to have smaller amount of CS with Sylas, due to the nature of this champion. Excelling at other things at this game, and I kind of tried to do something that was really brave from me. I just want to be around and make sure that they won't do this Baron. Ashe and Riven pressuring bot lane. So it seems I'm trying to be around, like I said before. Those Aatrox, I have noticed him and engaging. Should be nice. See how fast I was able to stack Conqueror. Okay. And Morgana's ulti can be huge here, like look at this. Volibear flashed from this, okay. Triple. Was right. And now Akali. Like, right now I remember what she said. She said on the chat, haha, no pentakill. So yeah, I knew that it's not the most important thing right now to chase for the penta, so I'm just pushing. Still have some time to achieve that, and actually got her. So let's see. And penta. Hey. Penta with Sylas is pretty nice. As you can see, you are able to dash with your E through walls. Not that scared, knowing the fact that I can just W my enemy and gain a huge amount of healing back. And Baron. So yeah, finally we have the gold lead. Now with OT I have Spirit Visage, so you can sometimes go dead cut, but this game is really worth it. Like, they have so much AP damage, and look at this, it was easy now. This item can really make a difference in the team fights, allowing you to heal for better amount. And okay. We are pushing now. I'm thinking of reaching her, of course. So at least I'm just pressuring. And actually I want to continue pushing because I can see the opportunity. So it seems I thought that it's better to just pressure top lane, because why not? So that way, even if you won't be able to finish the game, you are putting yourself closer into victory. Pretty good ult of Volibear, look at the damage. Focusing what my allies do as well. Still dashing in. And what a game, guys. I think it was pretty great. And that's it. Thanks guys for watching. I hope that you enjoyed and that you learned something about Sylas. You can check out my other videos and stream. See you next time.